Hi, Libra. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for November of 2020. I know that I've recommended to you to watch this horoscope if you have Libra rising. It also works for your sun. And if Libra is your sun sign, then you might have missed your annual birthday reading. And I do suggest that you get that. You'll find a link for how to get that in the YouTube description below. Well, I've got great news because a couple of planets that have been retrograde are going to go direct this month. And Julia's here to tell you all about it. What's up for Libra, Julia?
Well, hey there, Libra. I'll start with Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication and also the planet of thinking, and it begins this month retrograde. And whenever that happens, there tends to be a lot more miscommunications in our lives. And all of this has been happening for you specifically in your first house of self.
Mm.
You're coming out of a few weeks of a frustrating period where perhaps you haven't been able to kind of articulate yourself very clearly, or you feel personally more misunderstood by other people. The good news is that on November 3rd, Mercury is going to go direct, so things will get a lot smoother after that. Then Mercury is going to enter Scorpio on November 10th, which means it's going to be popping into your second house of money as well as values. So wherever we have Mercury is where we're putting our thinking and our mind. So during that period, you could be spending a lot more time thinking about your possessions, like maybe how you make car payments, how you take care of them, as well as your personal income. And this is a period where you might find yourself articulating your values more clearly to others as well. Now, the next planet I want to talk about is Mars, which is the planet of activity and the planet of drive. And Mars begins the month also retrograde in the sign of Aries, but it will go direct at last, and that'll be on November 14th. However, all of this has been happening in your seventh house of partnership. So you're coming out of a very frustrating period of having a lot of kind of flare-ups and arguments with your partner. If you're in a relationship, even if it's a wonderful relationship, you guys may have had more arguments than usual. And if you're single, then it may have just been more frustrating to kind of feel like you could kind of connect to a partner or be with someone too. But again, mid-month, it's going to start slowly clearing up, and that's great news for all of us. Now, the last planet that I want to talk about is Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships. And she also begins the month in the sign of Libra, your sign, and that corresponds with the first house. So even if you've been feeling misunderstood by others, or maybe even frustrated with your partner, when Venus goes through the house of self, it means that you've been looking extra good at the beginning of this month and throughout part of it. Then when Venus enters Scorpio on November 21st, it corresponds with your second house. You could get a little bit more sort of luck with money during that period, especially with your earned income, which is what the second house symbolizes.
Yep. And also that same day, the sun is going to move into the third house, which is to say Sagittarius season is going to begin. And wherever the sun goes, it brings the spotlight of awareness, it brings attention, it shines a light into that area. And the third house is the domain of communication. So you may be attending to your communication quite a bit more during Sagittarius season. Now, a little earlier in the month, on the 14th, we have got a new moon in Scorpio, which falls in your second house. As Julia said, the house of finances, also values, possessions. I think of this house as the house of things that connect us to the physical world, our physical bodies, the food we put into them, and the money we make to sustain them. And this moon we've been calling Consider Your Shared Estate for a couple of reasons. One is because Juno is involved, and Juno is the goddess of committed relationships of all kinds, both personal and professional, meaning that she governs marriage, but she also governs contractual business relationships too. And so, and then Scorpio, where these things are placed, has to do with sharing and has to do with finances that are shared particularly. And it's also a sign of death and demise. So the overall themes here with this new moon have to do with um, considering, what stuff is mine, what stuff is my partner's, and what's going to happen to it all when we pass or if one of us passes. So I've been telling people this is a really good moon for working on your will if you don't have one. Now, later in the month, on November 30th, we have got a full moon in Gemini, right here in your ninth house of meaning, opposite to the sun in your third house of communication. So this is the communication axis. It has to do with voice, big voice versus small voice. And your big voice may be feeling rather passionate to express and broadcast a larger message during this moon. Now, we've been calling this moon Make the Mind, Body, Heart Connection. And we're calling it that because the moon represents the heart or the feelings or intuition. Gemini, the sign the moon is in, is the sign of the mind, the intellect, and also communication, putting things into words. And then body is governed by Ceres. She connects us with the physical world. So in total, this moon has to do with bringing together how you think, how you feel, and grounding in reality what you really believe passionately. And that's the moon in the ninth house, what you believe passionately. In longer term news, Saturn and Jupiter are going to move into Aquarius just next month, December. So that's coming soon, and we've already made videos about them. It's going to really constitute a change in tone. The year of 2020 has felt pretty dark, pretty heavy, while these planets have been in Capricorn. But when they move into Aquarius, things may lighten up. And so you can find our videos about that in the November 2020 news playlist on our YouTube channel. If you enjoy our horoscopes, which we absolutely enjoy making for you, then please do like, share, and subscribe. Let the rest of the world know about us. We love to see you in our corner of the universe. And until next month, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.